what you're about to see may look like something you might find at a stuffed animal store, you know? You go to the toy store, oh, so cute.
Toy store. Stuffed animals at toy stores.
These are highly trained guide animals. They're not stuffed animals.
Amazingly enough, though, miniature horses are now being trained, just like dogs, to provide help to the blind. Watch this.
They may be small, fuzzy, and wearing tiny little sneakers, but don't be fooled. Because these very funny-looking miniature horses are very serious workers. When they're not grazing on grass, these horses are used as guides for the blind.
When we get into the actual guide work, the horse has to learn to navigate primarily around obstacles. Easy, easy.
For trainer Janet Burleson, it all started when she and her husband took their pet horse, Twinkie, to a local market.
She would walk along beside you and weave in and out of the crowds, and it actually looked like she was, working as a guide.
After researching guide dogs for background, they began teaching their mini horses to do the same tricks.
We also learned that while guide horses can go anywhere that a guide dog can, they're generally not flexible enough to curl up under the table. So we taught them just to, stand under the table quietly.
With a life expectancy 3 times that of pooches and capable of varying their speed, helpful hoofed guides may just prove to be a better friend for those in need.
Joining us is the founder of the Guide Horse Foundation, Janet Burleson.
And one of our horses is trained. Maybe we should stop
okay, Scout.
and applause. This is Scout. This is a horse, a miniature horse in training. Is that right?
That's correct.
So did Scout get a little spooked by the audience clapping?
Well, he was sleeping and they woke him up.
Oh, he was sleeping? They sleep standing up?
That's correct.
So that's why they hide under the tables at the houses where
Yes.
they're helping the people?
They do that to me before every show, too. They wake me up. But you know what? You think of horses of being kind of skittish. So why would they be good for, guide animals?
Well, horses are prey animals, so they're extremely safety conscious. They're all focused all about keeping their legs safe so that they can survive in the, as a prey animal.
The interesting thing is, though, when you think of a dog, you cuddle up to the dog and they lick your face and everything. Are the people who use these miniature horses as guides, are they allowed? Can they have that type of relationship?
Well, horses,
are they cuddly at all?
Horses definitely bond with humans and feel affection for them. They're not quite as needy and dependent as a dog is. So when the horse is off duty, you can turn it right out in the pasture or in your yard to graze. They're great little lawnmowers.
Not to be, they have to poo bigger than a dog, though.
Well,
and how do you get around that in the house?
Just a little bit bigger. Well, well, they're just like a dog. They're trained to go outside when they need to go potty. And they don't live indoors when they're off duty. They're trained to work inside. But when they're off duty, they're hanging outside acting like a normal horse.
How do they let you know I got to go?
They'll stamp their little feet. If you don't pay attention to them, they'll nudge you with their nose, and if you're still ignoring them, they might tap on your toes.
Do they make difference? I heard some strange
wait a minute.
sounds in the
Juliet,
What?
What the heck are those?
Oh, those are Skechers, Mike.
On the horse?
Naturally, yes. Naturally, he'd be wearing Skechers.
Why? Why?
Look how cute.
Why Skechers or Nikes?
Well, horses need traction when they're walking on slick surfaces like hardwood or tile floors. And also, it helps to protect their feet when they're outside on hot pavement or maybe if they step on a stone.
What kind of sounds do they make? Do they make a regular...
Oh, they're
strange things going on in that green room.
They're just like a regular horse. They whinny, they neigh, sometimes they'll snort a little bit.
Well,
sounds that you normally don't hear inside your home. Unless you're Mike.
Wilbur, do you train them, though, like a guide dog?
Absolutely. They're trained to do the same service that a guide dog does. The training is different because, they're horses, not dogs.
Even the dogs, well, how long will they live?
Oh, these little horses can live to be 30, 35, maybe 40 years.
So much longer than a dog, then.
Absolutely. Much longer service life.
So you envision a day where, blind people will be walking down the streets of New York City with horses?
I envision a day where some blind people will. It's a choice. It's not for everyone.
Well, you want to know what? You want to meet a man who walks down the streets of New York City with his guide dog, and that guide dog helps him cross the street. Oh, see?
See?
I got to get trained.
Get into the new lingo, baby.
A guide horse. When we come back. This is so much fun. We are back with Janet Burleson of the Guide Horse Foundation and one of her trainees, Scout.
Yes, now let's see the difference one of these animals has made in one man's life. Watch this.
When he started going blind at 17, Dan Shaw was devastated.
Getting around was pretty hard. It got to a point where I didn't want to go to the stores anymore. I didn't want to go out with my friends.
He was eventually forced to explore his options for assistance.
I didn't want to use a cane because it's like saying, here I am, come rob me. So I figured I'd break down and finally get a guide dog.
But fate stepped in and changed his life.
I heard on the TV, on this TV program, about this woman training a horse to guide the blind.
He called the Guide Horse Foundation and eventually was given his new best friend, Cuddles.
Ready? Unload.
Dan trained for weeks, learning how to navigate with and take care of his helpful friend, and now he can't imagine living without him.
Having Cuddles has made me accept my blindness more because she's giving me my freedom back to be able to go places and do things.
Whether running errands around the house or going out to a restaurant to eat, Cuddles leads the way.
Let's bring Dan and his guide horse Cuddles out. Come on, guys.
Oh, look at Cuddles.
Aw,
This is ridiculously cute. Hi, Dan. Come on over here, Dan.
I think there's a love connection between
Good to see you,
Scout
buddy.
and
Nice to see you,
Cuddles.
too.
Hi, Dan.
Cuddles
Hi, nice to meet you.
Cuddles is a girl, I hope, with a name
Yes.
like Cuddles.
Oh, yeah.
Weren't you a Hell's Angel, Dan, when you were 17?
No, I
Used to
rode
ride-
with them. I
You
rode with
them?
Yeah, I rode the Angels.
Wait,
yeah.
how does a guy who rides with the Angels name a horse Cuddles?
I did. First of all, I didn't name her, but and it is kind of ironic, you know, a guy like me growing up the way I did, having a horse named
Yeah.
Cuddles. But,
You started to go blind at 17 after
Yes.
riding with those Hells Angels and riding on a bike.
Yeah.
Tell us about the meeting between you and Cuddles.
It was wonderful. I got off the plane. I was already packed a week ahead of time before I had to go. I was so excited to meet her. And then when I got off the plane, I was escorted out by a lady from the airport that helped me there. And I walked up, and Janet says, "Hi, Dan, glad to meet you." And she says, "Cuddles is right here." So I bent down, and when I did, I scratched on her neck, and she put her head up and licked me on the forehead.
Oh, my gosh, man. You knew it was going to be good, huh?
Yeah,
What was
I
your
did.
first command to her?
I think the first command was find the door.
And she did.
Yeah.
So tell us how she actually leads you around. I mean, you're walking around New York City. She's walking right there with you.
Oh, yeah, she's gone on the subways of Manhattan where we were packed
my
in like sardines.
God, are you kidding
and
me?
She's gone on the ferry over to the Statue of Liberty.
What did you think of it?
Oh, it was a little bumpy ride, but it never bothered her any. She grazed and had lunch over there, you know.
Well, you know, we see you walking across the street like that. You have to have a lot of trust in Cuddles.
Oh, yeah, I mean, when I walk through the streets of New York, it's like mini highways, you know, even the sidewalks are like roads. And but she always seems to find the way through all the congestion of the people as well as...
It's remarkable.
You like the attention? 'Cause I'm sure you're getting a
It's
lot
not-
of it.
Well, you know, I used to hide my blindness growing up, and so it's like, I don't care who knows I'm blind anymore, you know? She's
Oh, that's
awesome.
wonderful. Cuddles has to be an amazing chick magnet. You finding that?
Geez, Mike.
Oh, yeah, she
Married.
is, but, you know,
Wedding ring.
I got a wife, so, you know, there's things to deal with.
All right, can I walk the horse around then? Hey, Dan, thank you very much for being here. What a wonderful story.
Oh, it's wonderful to meet you.
Good meeting you, Dan. Thank you. Great job, Janet.
For more information on miniature guide horses, log on to our website, emajshow.com.
Okay.